All right. Welcome to this very special edition of Don't Know. Let's just call it, I don't know, let's just call it World Series preview, or preview, I mean. Review like it already happened. Yeah, only I would say something like that. So, yeah, my name is Angel Rivera alongside Alex Knight, and we're going to be previewing the World Series and giving our predictions and talking about who has the advantage in each department and also who are a World Series X Factor, meaning that who's going to be the unexpected heroes. So, thank everybody for joining, and let's get to it. So, yeah, let's start off with tomorrow night, or actually, for me, it's later today. It's the beginning of the World Series because it's midnight here. So today is the World Series, and you know, obviously the Yankees play the Dodgers, and Game One's in Los Angeles at 8 o'clock Eastern, or actually the first pitch supposed to be at 8:08 Eastern. So we'll see how true that is. But every game is at 8:08 Eastern. Let's see. So let's start with the pitching because let's the first game or game one. It's going to be Garrett Cole against Jack Flaherty. Game two is supposed to be Rondon versus Yamamoto. Game three, it's Clark Schmidt against somebody. I don't know.
It's probably Walker Bueller. I'd be
Oh,
shocked if
Walker Bueller probably. Yeah. And then game four is apparently going to be a bullpen game
for the
because
Dodgers, but for the
yeah, for the
Yankees,
Dodgers. Yeah.
yeah,
For the
Yankees
Yankees
go
is Luis Heel. So
yeah, Lucille.
and after that we don't know. So those are the first four. Obviously, in my opinion, in the rotation, the Yankees had the clear advantage because of all the devastating injuries that the Dodgers have had in their rotation. So obviously, the Yankees have the advantage there. And let's see, and and in bullpen, unfortunately for the Dodgers, they have to have a bullpen game. And they had a bullpen game in Game Six when they clinched against the Mets, so it didn't really affect them too much. But the Mets aren't the Yankees, and quite frankly, the Yankees, if they stay on their hot streak like they've been throughout the playoffs, they're no joke, and they're going to take advantage of that Dodgers bullpen. The only guy that I'm worried about is Blake Trinan, who's their closer. That dude is no joke. I mean, he's the only one
The
that
I
worries me.
I'd be afraid of, or maybe not afraid, maybe more worried, but would be him and Michael Kopech. Those would be the ones.
Yeah, Kopech is. I mean, he throws at 100+ mile an hour fastball. But hey Steph, I'm surprised you're up. I mean, I figured that you'd be asleep. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, it's the only time we could do this because Alex is not going to be here tomorrow because he's going to the game. Not going to the game, but going to where you going to some sort of bar or something.
Yeah,
Uh, I said he's
sports
going to
bar.
the
Yeah,
sports bar. I said, oh,
with
he's
my
going to the game.
with
Like
my
he's
dad
going.
and all my relatives will be.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, it's like he's going to Dodger Stadium. No, he's not. I mean, I want to make that
no way
clear, but
I did that.
but no, I'm in my kitchen and because everybody's sleeping right now, so I'm trying to keep it quiet here. So it's midnight out here in the East Coast. So, but yeah, let's see. The Dodgers obviously. Let's see the bullpen. Let's get to the Yankees bullpen because I'm kind of amazed on how good this bullpen is without any real
Yeah,
stars. I mean, let's keep it real. It's like Ryan Castro went out and sold or bought a bunch of pitchers from the dollar store or from the scrap heap and gave them to the pitching coach. I keep forgetting his name, but the pitching coach, and he turned them into stars, all of them.
hmm
Uh, like Tim Hill, I mean, he was released by the White Sox, like was cut
yeah,
because he was so bad. He comes here to the Yankees, and he's one of our better, reliable relievers. Like, how the hell did that happen?
yeah.
And it's amazing, to me how good the Yankees bullpen's been. Ian Hamilton, Mark Leiter Jr. Is it,
Unfortunately for Hamilton, he keeps getting injured. So
yeah, that's the problem with Hamilton. He's hurt again, so yeah, I don't think he'll be on the World Series roster this time.
yeah,
But
he can't.
hmm yeah, so. He was good though throughout the playoffs.
What
Uh, what?
you said throughout the playoffs, he was good throughout the playoffs.
Oh,
You said Ian Hamilton was good throughout the playoffs.
oh, well, yeah. I mean, most of the bullpen has. That's why I
Yeah,
said that. But let's see, Luke Weaver, the closer. He was a starter. Like he literally, I saw like he was like on 4 or 5 different teams the last 2 seasons, and he was kind of mediocrity defined, or even horrible at times. So he comes to the Yankees, and oh yeah, let's just slightly change the grip on his fastball and his changeup, and make him a bullpen guy. Look what he is today. I mean, it's like the Yankees pitching staff has figured out how to turn Brian Cashman's buying pitchers from the dollar store into the stars that they are today. It's amazing. The guy who makes the most money out there is what, Tommy Canley. I mean, he's the only one that makes millions out there.
yeah. What I hope is that Clay Holmes can start doing well again.
Oh my god. Yeah, I know he's been. Yeah, it's green tea. So yeah, I usually drink that before going to bed. But yeah, I mean, I hope that Clay Holmes was good in the first round and even the beginning of the series against the Indians. I think it was game 3 when he kind of fell apart,
Yeah,
and
and
he didn't pitch well at all game 4. So it was like, oh, here comes inconsistent Clay Holmes again. I'm just hoping that he gets back to that Clay Holmes in the World Series where he was good,
mm,
because we need him. We need as many relievers as we can get, because I mean, is Nestor Cortez on the roster? I hope he is, because he seems
I
like,
think it's yeah.
yeah, he's gonna
But
because that's a big help for the bullpen, because they kind of got tired, especially in towards. That's why they had activating Mark Leiter Jr. was like, oh shit, Mark Leiter Jr. Oh god, he actually pitched okay. He actually pitched pretty well, in the games he's
yeah,
pitched. So I was
the
like,
one I probably wouldn't trust would probably be Tim Mesa.
um, I mean, I haven't. Has he pitched at all in these playoffs, or I don't remember.
Pitched once, at
Once,
least once
uh-huh.
against Game 3 against the Guardians. I don't remember if
Uh-huh.
he pitched. He may have pitched in Game 2 against the Royals, but that would have been
Uh,
it.
I haven't been keeping up with the games. You guys know way more than I do. But the glad that the Dodgers won. I used to live right across from Dodger Stadium. I like New York too, and I like those damn Yankees. Huh? Yeah. I mean, we're on for Saturday. I mean, just I can't do a full like 2 or 3 hour show because the game starts at 8. So it'll be probably like an hour, and then we'll wrap up quickly. But
I
yeah, I
I don't
think.
know if I can be on for Saturday. I'm not sure.
Oh
Yeah.
well, we're gonna probably do an hour anyway, so we're not gonna do any clips. But I think the Yankees have the advantage in pitching overall. I mean, the starters have been decimated, and the bullpen. I'm not particularly afraid of anybody except for Michael Kopech. I mean, he throws 100 miles an hour, but he does walk a lot of guys. So it's like, yeah, he has overpowering stuff, but he walks a lot of guys. So
I think for now I would still give the bullpen like a tie. I
okay.
think that's where I would leave it.
Yeah, most people giving it a tie, but I would probably give slight advantage to the Yankees, because based how they pitched so far in the postseason, I mean, the only one that really struggled was Clay Holmes, not really anybody else. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I agree, and I could definitely see it being a tie. So, starting pitching, Yankees have the advantage. The bullpen, you can say it's a tie. I personally would give it to the Yankees, but let's see what else. Let's get to the orders, the lineups, the offenses. Who are the best offenses in baseball? It's like, let's see. So the lineup. Oops. Because the Yankees lineup throughout the playoffs has been what? Gleyber Torres 1, Juan Soto 2, Judge 3, Stanton 4. Or
Well,
no,
Sam
actually
wasn't
no.
sure. He was
It was
batting mostly,
yeah, it was
but
Austin Wells batting fourth until
yeah,
recently.
but now he's
So
moved up to fourth, and I think it's
yes.
important for him to
Mm-hmm.
be up fourth because now it's not like oh you can't really walk Judge. You'll have to pitch both to Judge and Stanton. So
Yeah,
um,
you have to. Yeah, so yeah, so Stanton 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is really the best hitters. The
Yeah.
bottom part is kind of like meh, there. Rizzo has
Well,
actually been playing well, to be
Jack
fair.
Chisenhall might be batting fifth, although I would probably put Rizzo there since he's been hitting well.
Yeah, I would probably stick Rizzo in there. And the bottom three would be Jazz Chisholm, Verdugo, and Austin Wells. But here's the thing: the Dodgers have very little
Oh,
left-handed
and
pitching.
Volpe. Volpe.
Oh, right, Ropey. Yeah, I forgot about him. The Dodgers have very few left-handed pitching, so the reason why I mentioned that because the Yankees
Yeah.
don't do well against left-handed pitching all
Yeah.
year. So it's like, oh, okay. So I think so that'll get kind of to my bold prediction. We'll get to that at the end, but yeah, I mean, I think the Yankees lineup is really good. I mean, we we gotta hope that either a combination of Jazz Chisholm or Austin Wells or Verdugo gets it going. Because if they do, makes the lineup even deeper, and maybe, and maybe they could because the Dodgers going to score runs. They're not going to shut down the Dodgers. I mean, that offense is just amazing.
Yeah.
So even though the Mets did win a couple games in the NLCS, but there's no way that you're shutting down the Dodgers offense, especially with Shohei Otani up there in the order. And I
Yeah, I
mean,
think
oh
in
my.
terms of a more balanced lineup, I think I'd probably get the Dodgers maybe a bit of an edge on
Yeah,
that.
I agree with that. I mean, it's the Dodgers. They do have a deeper lineup and it's
Yeah.
more balanced too. So let's see. I'm
But I
trying to
mean,
find.
we just need to get Chisholm Hall and Wells going. I mean that as long as they get going, our lineup will be great too.
Hmm.
And what I hope,
So,
what I hope kind of doesn't happen is if Freddie Freeman has like a Kirk Gibson moment.
oh God. So yeah, let's see. The Mets are Mets. The Dodgers had Otani, Mookie Betts, Teoscar Hernandez, Freddie Freeman, Tommy Edman, Enrique Hernandez, Max Muncy, Will Smith, Adam Pages. Wait.
Andy
Let's.
Paez. Andy Paez.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Kike Hernandez has also been a big bat for them. I mean, so for some reason, he turns into a superstar in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like, oh no, Kike Hernandez and the Dodgers. Oh fuck. So yeah, they have a much deeper, they have a more balanced lineup. Freddie Freeman, I mean, he's been hurt, so it's like I'm not sure how much he'll actually play,
Yeah.
but it's a big loss for the Dodgers. I mean, he's been fantastic.
No, he's been playing for them, but some games he hasn't during the postseason. But every time he hasn't
Yeah,
played, they won. So it's not like
doesn't
you know,
hurt them. Yeah.
yeah.
The one thing that's going to annoy me watching the World Series is that graphic they put up of Otani. Hey, he's
I knew
six
you were going to bring that up.
he's 6 batters away. He's five
Yeah,
batters away. Like because we saw it throughout the playoffs too.
yeah,
So have to get ready for bed. I'll see you Saturday. Okay, see you Saturday. But yeah, I mean that's super annoying. It's like
yeah.
I'm sorry, just throughout the playoffs, it's been like, ugh, like Fox has been so cringe with the Otani coverage. I
Like,
mean,
why not do that for Aaron Judge?
yeah, I know it's, but I get like Otani is the bigger star globally, especially in Japan. I mean, those ratings in Japan for the playoffs have been insane, and they start like at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. So
Yeah.
it's not like they start, at prime time over there. I mean, they have to get up early.
But nobody sucks off Otani more than Ben Verlander.
Oh God, that guy, and it's like, really, dude. I mean, I get
I
it.
still
He's
can't believe he said it was the Dodgers' most important signing, even more important than Jackie Robinson. I'm like, come on.
he's out of his mind. I mean, it's like, yeah, I get it. Let me try it again. Dave Roberts came out and said, "Oh, Shohei Otani will not pitch in this World Series," which
Mhm.
tells me he might pitch in this World Series because why would he come out with that? It's like, oh
Yeah,
well, he's
I
not.
remember in 2016 when it was Game 5 between Dodgers and Nationals.
Uh huh.
Before that game, a reporter asked Dave Rogers if Clayton Kershaw would be available out of the bullpen. He said no, but then Clayton Kershaw came
Yeah.
out of the bullpen. Well,
Yeah, so
that's
I know Dave Roberts have a history of, saying, "Oh well, this guy definitely ain't pitching." It turns out, oh yeah, of course he's pitching. So that tells me that Otani may be available as a pitcher at some point in this World Series. So, but we'll see when. But Yankees got to look out for that because he hasn't pitched all year. But at the same time, I think
Yeah.
the Dodgers they desperately need an arm. But at the same time, if they put him in the rotation, they lose his bat
Hmm.
because he's not going to be able to hit because the National League doesn't have DH or doesn't have it has a DH now.
Yeah. Oh, and
So
I wonder if we're going to see Marcus Stroman out of the bullpen, as well as some at bats from either Jason Dominguez or
uh,
Trent Grisham.
I would. Here's the thing with that. I mean, I have a prediction that I think Jason Dominguez is going to hit a pinch hit home run at some point in this World Series. I don't know why. I just have feeling that I have, especially if they give him an at bat. I mean, we'll see what happens there, but that's my off the wall prediction. There, it's like, oh well, he's if they put him in the game, he's gonna get a home run. So, and it's gonna be huge. But let's see the lineups. I
Also,
had.
we won't,
Oh,
we
go
won't
ahead.
have to worry about Judge playing right field this time.
Oh no, yeah. And I think Susan Waldman went out there and checked
Yeah,
the
I saw that
fence.
too.
If you
Yeah,
saw that, yeah,
I
she
saw that.
checked the fence just to make sure that it was
Yeah.
properly like because that destroyed. And when Judge got hurt out there, what was it, 22?
No, last year.
Oh, it was last year. That's right. They missed the playoffs.
Yeah.
The Judge falling
That
apart and
that's
getting
what ruined
injured.
the season right there.
Yeah. Uh huh. Yeah, so that caused the Yankees to miss the playoffs because they didn't have Soto, so it was like and Stanton
Yeah.
wasn't. So that the team just fell apart there at that point.
Hmm. Yeah.
But so yeah, so I think in order for the Yankees need the Yankees hit really well at Dodger Stadium. Judge does, Stanton does,
Yeah. And the Yankees have done
Jazz.
really good on the road this year, so
Yeah, they're a road team. So Jazz Chisholm hits well in Los Angeles too. So a lot of the
yeah.
lineups and a lot of the guys in our
For the
lineup can
Marlins,
hit
yeah.
at Dodger Stadium. So
Yeah.
and
Wonder if Stan will hit it out of Dodger Stadium again, like he did in what 2015.
Stanton, yeah, yeah, Stanton when he hit that huge like, I was like, oh wow, he hit it out of Dodger Stadium. I don't remember Vince Scully's exact call, but I do remember him
Well, no,
being
I only
shocked.
watched the video from the Marlins broadcast.
Yeah, I saw Vince Scully's call, and he was trying. Wow, he hit it out of the park, something like that. But let's see. Aaron
Yeah,
Judge will
I
be
really
ready
hope
for
the
Otani
Yankees.
when that happens.
Well,
Well, I mean,
Otani's being discussed. Well, maybe he would pitch, but I doubt it. I doubt it's going to happen. But,
Dave Roberts is known for lying about pitchers and when they're supposed to pitch. So it's because he said he won't pitch. And I'm not sure whether somebody asked him in the media or if he just brought it up himself for
yeah, I
no
think someone
reason.
asked him.
Yeah, so I'm assuming someone asked him. And
But
like,
what I was going to say was, the offense better um, what's the word? They better be ready against Jack Flaherty, or they better take advantage of having him start instead of Yamamoto, because
yeah,
I don't know what we're gonna get from Jack Flaherty. So
yeah,
he can either be really good or he'll be really bad. So
yeah, so he's inconsistent as all hell. So yeah, so here's the thing. I don't know why Yamamoto's not going game one. I mean, because he's their best pitcher.
because of the days of rest he has, like he's not like he's
Uh,
only good on like 5 days rest or
right.
something like that, which
So
I understand, and especially if you're doing it for the division series and a championship series. But in my opinion, this is the World Series. This is the last
yeah,
one. You got to
you
play your
have
best.
to. Yamamoto has to, go in game one. So
I mean,
that
you're paying
logic,
what $325 million.
yeah, yeah, he's,
You gotta have him be the number one
yeah,
starter.
you got to. I mean, I understand they want to accommodate him with rest, but
Mhm.
back in the day, starters used to go on 3 days rest in the playoffs. So it
Yeah.
was like it.
Well,
So
Cole
I,
could possibly go on 3 days rest depending what the situation happens. So
yeah, because he's going in game one, so it's going to be
yeah,
Cole against Kopech, not Kopech, Flaherty. So
yeah.
and then game two is Rondon versus Yamamoto. I get they're saving Yamamoto for game seven, just in case it gets that far. So, but I would rather if the Dodgers are down 3-2 or 3-1 or whatever, you want to go with your best. So even if the Yankees are down, you want to go with your best. So
Yeah.
let's so I'm suspecting at some point maybe we'll see. I mean, I wouldn't want to lose Otani's bat, so I would be surprised if he pitches either. So I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't pitch. But at
Mhm.
the same time, the Yankees should probably prepare for that.
But what I would do is if there's a base open, I would put him on base. Um,
Yeah, and the most questionable decision I've seen from the Guardians was pitching to Stanton, like continuing to pitch to him. Is
um,
like you had bases open over and over again, and the
there's
manager
a
insisted on
should have
pitching to
been
him.
Stanley.
Like it brought the Yankees to the World Series, and I appreciate it. But damn, that's a horrible decision. I mean, it's like
Yeah,
I wouldn't pitch to him because Stanton really has no protection. The next guy would have been Jazz Chisholm or somebody, so he's been struggling. So it's like, and now would probably put Rizzo behind Stanton, so he has some protection at least. So you would have, but
yeah,
Rizzo isn't going to hit home runs because he has two broken fingers, so he's probably going to choke up on that bat and get
yeah.
base hits and stuff. So you don't have to worry about him homering off you.
He
But
could still homer. I mean, there's still a possibility he can. So
yeah, and
he says
because
his
he can't.
fingers have been getting better. So
Okay,
um,
well, he's been choking up on the bat a lot more since
yeah.
he's a couple
I think
broken
he's always
fingers.
done that, or at least when he gets just two strikes, he always does that. So
Yeah, he tends to. He's not really worried about hitting home runs, especially on two strikes. But yeah, I would probably bat Rizzo behind Stanton. But I really need Jazz Chisholm to have a huge World Series
yeah.
because if he does, then because
Oh, and
he's
speaking of Jazz Chisholm, I heard that Miguel Rojas is going to be on the roster, so could be a
ah.
little interesting between him and Chisholm.
Hmm. Well, we'll see what happens there.
Maybe we'll
But
see a benches clearing brawl or incident, whatever happens.
ooh, that'd be fun. I mean, that doesn't happen often in the World Series, but yeah, I mean, it could be fun. Let's see. It'll be fun. But yeah, I give the Dodgers the advantage in the lineup because they're deeper and more balanced than the Yankees. But the Yankees are the better pitching, so
Yeah.
pitching always beats good hitting, or good pitching always beats good hitting. So yeah, so I would look because pitching. So Teoscar Hernandez has kind of struggled in these playoffs. I mean, he played well in Game 6 in the
Yeah,
last round, but
he came through at the right time. So,
yeah, but he hasn't been himself really in these playoffs. So
well, he was really
hopefully
good in the division series. He was just for whatever reason he was absent in the championship series.
he's
But
a
when
really
but when he needed to show up, when it counted, he did. So
yeah, he's a really streaky player too. He gets hot, but if he's
he
not
has
hot,
been hit against the Yankees in the past. So that's
hmm
someone to keep an eye on.
so I'm worried about him. And Otani's Otani. I mean, he's hit 56 home runs and he's done
And
everything.
also, we need, Judge needs to get going again too. Um,
Yes.
so
He's been kind of hit or miss, and he's hit a couple home runs in the ALCS, but he hasn't really been MVP judge yet in these playoffs.
yeah,
So he needs to, if he gets hot and Jazz Chisholm gets hot and everybody's hitting the way they've been hitting, be difficult to beat the Yankees, especially with the pitching advantage, especially at least in the rotation. So
you were talking about who would be like the unlikely hero. Is that what you were saying? The
yeah,
unlikely.
yeah,
I
the
think
X factor,
yeah,
unlikely hero.
my
Yeah,
pick would be Anthony Volpe. That would
yeah. I
be my.
mean, yeah, either Volpe or Jazz Chisholm or something like that because Volpe, he's been playing well in these playoffs though, so it's not
Yeah,
like he's been struggling. But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I could if he, somebody you're gonna have some unexpected heroes. It's the World Series. Somebody unexpected is gonna step up and hit well. So,
Mhm.
mm,
One of the things I'm
so
looking forward to watching the game is hearing that original MLB on Fox theme again for the World
huh.
Series.
Yeah, it's been at least Joe Buck isn't there anymore. Holy
Yeah,
shit! I mean, his calls were like, like kind of because the Yankees used to go to the World Series like back in the '90s at least nearly every year, and it was like this is brutal to listen to Joe Buck. I
when they would
usually
also broadcast it on back then it was NBC and Bob Costas would do
Yeah,
the
well, that was the World Series usually on Fox, though, if I remember correctly. The
yeah,
NBC that
been
they
on
would,
Fox lately.
yeah. So, Let's see what else. So yeah, did you see Brian Cashman in his comments on Chris
Yeah,
Russo show?
Chris. Yeah, I heard
Yeah.
his comments. You know, I didn't think it was necessary, but a couple things I wanted to point out. I think
Mm-hmm.
he sort of asked about it or about his, you know, getting back
Yeah.
to the World Series, so he's bringing that part up. So, I didn't think it was necessary. But then again, I didn't think it was really necessary for everyone to be so outraged about it. Like, oh, he brought it up to 2017. It's like,
Yeah.
it's not really a huge deal. It's just like, we could let that go.
Yeah. Because
Plus,
Chris Russo.
Rivera just mentioned it too a
Yeah.
few days ago. So
Chris
I think
Russo.
it's. I don't think anyone should be talking about it. It's like, oh my god, he brought up 2017 cheating against like. So
Yeah.
relax.
Chris Russo asked him about the 15-year drought, and that's when
Yeah.
he brought up 2017. Is like, well, I hate that narrative because if we weren't cheated, then we would have made the World Series in 2017. So yeah, so that's all he said. I mean, it's Brian Cashman is clearly still bitter about 2017, and it's been what 7 8 years since then. He's still bitter about it, and I don't blame him. I mean, come on. I mean, if the Astros weren't cheating, the Yankees would
Yeah.
have won at least one game in Houston. So that would have put them over the top, and they
Yeah.
would have gotten to the World Series in
Yeah.
2017. So because they won all three games in Yankee Stadium, they were dominant in Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
So you
I
just
think
needed
it's
that
better to
one.
have the Yankees Dodgers this year than in
Yeah,
2017. Because I think in 2017, I don't think we would have beaten the Dodgers that year. They were pretty much a super team that year with all the
yeah,
players they had,
yeah,
and the Yankees were they were what building.
yeah.
They
They
weren't.
were still technically in rebuilding mode. Yeah, so because they had Judge was a rookie. You had Didi Gregorius out there. This is before even Glaber came up, I think. So
Yeah,
that's how long
Gary
ago this was.
Sanchez.
Gary Sanchez was good in the playoffs, to be fair,
Yeah, he had some
but
good moments too.
yeah, he had so yeah, the team was completely different. I think the only one from left from that team is Judge. I mean, nobody else is no one else from 2017 is still even here.
Uh,
So
you might be right. Oh well, Canley's back with the Yankees, so
oh yeah, but he left and then came back.
yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
but he's there again. Yeah, so the only two guys left from the 2017 team. So let's see. So we talked about the lineups, the relievers, our X factors. They were doing the press conferences or World Series media day, and I've seen all the pictures and all the stuff, and I'm like, okay, guys, it's time to play ball tomorrow. I mean, there's no, they were like celebrating, not celebrating, but taking the photos and stuff, and the media day.
Well, they always do that every World
Yeah,
Series.
yeah. So it's like, okay, time to play ball now. Okay, it's time because I do kind of have a bold prediction, but at this, I'm gonna explain it game by game and see what you think or something. So game one, I think the Yankees are going to win. Especially with Flaherty, you don't know what he's going to bring. Game two, I think the Dodgers will win because Yamamoto is no joke, and I mean he could just shut down the Yankees like that. I think so.
Yeah.
Game three, I think the Yankees will win. They'll go up 2-1. Game four, it's a bullpen game. I think the Yankees will win that game too. And game five, we don't know who's going in game five for either
Well, Garrett
team,
Cole
but
should be pitching Game 5, so
yeah, that's his turn in the rotation. Yeah,
yeah.
so if he pitches the way he pitches, I think the Yankees win in five. That's my prediction
Yeah.
because the
So
Dodgers don't have enough pitching.
yeah. So I don't know who would win, but I think it's at least it's gonna go either 6 or 7 games. So that's my
That's
prediction.
most likely scenario, but that's my bold prediction where I think the series could end in five, especially if the Dodgers pitching doesn't step up and pitch well. I know that's a bold prediction, and I'm probably wrong, but yeah, that the Yankees will win in five because that's my prediction. Most likely it goes 6 or 7. These are the two best teams in baseball all year, and this is gonna be like that old school 15 round heavyweight championship fight. It's gonna go
But
back and forth, back and forth.
like I told you last week, if John Carlos Stanton hits a walk-off grand slam to win the series for the Yankees, that would be
His legacy will be cemented forever.
yeah.
The damn Yankees were known in the Civil War as being a great adversary. Okay. Well, Yeah, I mean that would cement Stanton's legacy forever. He
Yeah.
can be horrible the last few years of his contract, but that those moments in the playoffs, his legacy would be cemented. And by the way, I don't want to hear any more smearing or slandering of Giancarlo Stanton. I
No.
mean, the guy's been through so much with the Yankees. Yankee fans have given bullshit for years, including me. I mean, for years and years and years. And look, he stepped up every October. Look what he done this October.
Yeah.
Enough. Leave the guy alone for fuck's sake. I mean, New York media. New York's talk radio is still talking shit about this guy. It was like,
Oh,
really,
yeah.
dude? I was listening to Michael K show, and it was like,
Oh, Michael Pitt. Yeah.
yeah, and then they're still calling in talking shit about Cashman and Stanton and stuff. Like, Yankees just got to the World Series.
Yeah.
You can't really let that go for a week or week and a half until the
Yeah.
series is over. If the Yankees win, then there's no reason to bring that up.
Mhm.
So yeah, so my bold prediction, Yankees will win in five, but most likely to go 6-7. But that's my bold prediction. And
Yeah.
let's see. So after the series is over, it's the off season. Like immediately after the series is over, that's
Yeah.
the off season. There's 5 days to offer, qualifying offers to your free agents, and all that stuff starts up again. So
And then
yeah,
there's
let's
the winter meetings
the winter meetings is right after that, December, I think it is, and
in December.
yeah. So and the owners meetings is in November. So so the number one free agent is Juan Soto, obviously, and I'm nervous about it, but at the same time, I'm like, he obviously loves it
I,
in New
I
York.
saw your post earlier about when Mets fans were saying we're going to get Juan Soto next
Yes,
year.
yes. I mean, it's like this is Juan Soto's last week with the Yankees. He's coming to
Yes.
the Mets, and I'm like, why would he? If he's gonna leave the Yankees, okay, whatever. He got a better offer, but going to the Mets, it's like going to like the big brother to the little brother, or it's like going to a team that hasn't won a championship since '86. They've been to a World Series, but they lost, and
And it was really stupid when they were talking about that the one advantage the Mets had over the Yankees was they made a World Series appearance more recently, even though they
not
didn't win
even
the World Series. But they were just
it's
using that. And it was really stupid. Well, now that advantage is gone, so
yeah. So the only advantage would be that Steve Cohen will most likely offer a ridiculous contract to Juan Soto, like an over the top offer. That if he comes out with 700 million 10 years or some number like that, the Shohei Ohtani contract, and the Yankees don't, that'd be difficult for him to say no.
yeah,
That's
but
really the only
Steve Cohen hasn't always delivered.
yeah.
You could say it isn't without trying, but still, it's like we would take like say like he's a greatest owner. Well, he hasn't been able to do everything, so
No, yeah, I mean he's been spending money like a drunken sailor. I mean, so when he took over the Mets, I mean, it's like, what the hell? I mean, you're giving out 340 million to Francisco Lindor. He's a good player, but is he really worth that much money? I mean, that was insane, that contract.
yeah,
And the only teams I see as a threat for Soto will be the Mets, the Dodgers, because they're always in on everybody.
yeah.
Teoscar Hernandez is a free agent, so they might need another outfielder, so they
Yeah, I
probably
was
be in
thinking
on
that
Soto.
earlier that if Hernandez doesn't come back, maybe they get Soto, but
Mhm.
the Yankees should do everything they can to
Yeah,
get
yeah,
him.
definitely. And the Giants are also a threat because the Giants been trying to sign a big free agent for years. They nearly signed Carlos Correa, but they canceled the contract because of his ankle. They
And
apparently
Mets
came,
tried to do the same thing, but the same thing happened.
yeah, they came close to signing Arson Judge. You remember that? What happened a
Oh,
couple of years ago? Yeah, so they came really close to signing Arson Judge, but that didn't work out for them, obviously. So they've been trying to get a massive free agent for years out there. It hasn't worked, especially since Buster Posey now taking over baseball operations. He definitely want
yeah.
to make a splash.
I think he's the president now.
He's the
Uh,
president of baseball operations, yeah.
okay,
So
yeah, yeah.
so he's basically above the GM. So if even they hire a GM, he's going to be the guy. So it's so those are the only real threats. The Red Sox, I don't think they want to spend money anymore, so
No,
it's kind of
no,
like
that's a
yeah,
pathetic franchise right
yeah.
now.
I don't think the Red Sox are even really interested. They'd be interested, I'm sure, but the money isn't going to be there for them because their owner doesn't want to spend it. I mean, he's kind of became a cheap ass lately, so I'm sure that so the Yankees have a shit ton of free agents, not just Soto, but you have Verdugo's a free agent, Glaber's a free agent, Clay Holmes is a free agent, isn't he?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I don't
Rizzo.
Rizzo. I don't think any of these guys will be back. I
I
mean,
think Jose Trevino. I think he's a
he,
free agent as well.
yeah, I don't think the Yankees will spend much money for a backup catcher, so I think he'll be gone too, because Wells is their catcher now. So
Yeah,
most likely they'll
but
just
they'll
get a
find
better.
someone to replace Trevino. So
Yeah, the Yankees will find any catcher to replace him. You really don't need to spend
yeah,
that much
as long
money
as it's
from.
not Martin Maldonado.
Oh God, I mean, he had an awful year with the White Sox. I mean, it's like also Benintendi's been awful since he went to the White
Yeah.
Sox. I mean, I'm glad I wanted the Yankees to retain him, but thank God they didn't. So there's a bunch of free agents on this Yankee roster, and I'm like, I don't think any of them be back, except for Soto. I think the Yankees will ultimately re-sign Soto. And you see that tweet I tagged you in about the numbers, like 14 years, 500 million. That was the projected contract, yeah, for Soto.
Can you show me that again? I may have seen it, but I might
Uh,
not see it.
hold on, I have to see it on my. I have it on my Twitter here. So this was a couple of days ago, I think. Uh, bear with me 1 second, but yeah, it was 14 years, 515 million was the projected contract for Soto, which calculates about 37 million a year.
Well, can you show
Which
it to me? I just want
yeah,
to
yeah,
see if I remember it.
yeah, I can. It's just I gotta find it because this from a couple of days ago. It's sign of desperation World Series.
I'm just
Yeah,
gonna get
that
my. I'm just gonna
yeah, I
get my.
tweet. Uh, I just tweet so much that it's hard to find unless I hold on, unless I bookmarked it. Uh, I bookmarked so much stuff. Hold on. No, no, I didn't. Damn it. Let's see. Hold on. One Soto projection. Ah, here it is. Yeah, I got it. Uh, so it's 13 or 14 years. $513 million will be the projected contract,
And you
according
tagged
to
me. Uh,
yeah.
in, um,
I tagged you, but I couldn't find it, so I just looked it up.
uh,
So this is what I was. You may not have seen this or not, but if that comes out to around 37 million a year,
mhm.
which wouldn't be that horrible. I mean, I over 14 years, I would definitely take that.
Yeah,
Because he's 25 right now, so you're looking
yeah,
at him being 39 by the time this contract comes up, which wouldn't be that horrible.
yeah,
So it's because I initially thought he would get 50 to anywhere from 55 to 65 million a year, but that'd be over 10 years, I would assume. So if you
yeah.
spread it out to 14 years, and it would be more manageable, especially for a team like the Yankees, you know. So
Mhm.
because Hal Steinbrenner has been kind of complaining about the luxury tax lately, so
Yeah,
but he has a lot of free agents. The Yankees are their payroll is being lowered by a lot because a lot of free agents. I don't think Verdugo comes back. I don't think Soto. I mean, I don't think Glaber comes back. I don't think Rizzo comes back. I don't think Clay Holmes comes back. I don't. There's really nobody on this roster I see coming back except for Soto. I mean, they're going to do everything they can to keep Soto.
yeah,
So that means they need a left fielder, they need a first baseman, they need a third baseman because Jazz Chisholm moving to second, back to second. They need a backup catcher. They need some bullpen arms. They need maybe another starter or two. So there's a lot to do once if Soto. First priority would be to bring back Soto, obviously, and then
mhm.
you would go after that. Alex Bregman's a free agent. Pete Alonso is a free agent. So, because I assumed the Mets would bring him back, but you never know.
Yeah, you never
So
know.
yeah, because he's a Mets. He's been in the Mets' entire career, and the fans love him there. So you would assume they would bring him back, but you never know. And Bregman's probably leaving the Astros. I don't see the Astros spending what he's going to want in free agency. So he'll be gone from the Astros. I would love the Yankees to pick him up, but if they're going to spend 500 million on Soto, I don't see Bregman coming in here unless Hal Steinbrenner says, "Fuck it, let's just spend the money and try to get back to the World Series again."
Yeah.
I could see that happening if the Yankees lose. If they win, I don't think Hal's going to want to spend too much money because, like, hey, we already won a championship, so we don't have to really. We're not under a lot of pressure to win a championship. Let's see. Virtuoso says the Athletic can't seem to get over the fact that the last remaining teams playing don't have a mascot. I'm starting to believe that those staff writers typically order Happy Meals from McDonald's. Really?
I mean,
So they've been
yeah.
they've been complaining about the fact that the teams don't have a mascot. I don't really read the Athletics, so I don't know, but I'll
I didn't
take
think
your word
about
for it.
it. But I mean, who
I
really cares? I
Yeah,
mean,
honestly.
what the Yankees really need right now is a mascot. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Yeah, so just absurd. It's like, oh yeah. I mean, and wouldn't be surprised if they're complaining about that because Athletic complains about really weird things lately. So let's see. My prediction: the Yankees keep Soto. I wish is what at that 14-year contract. And they were on Michael K show. They were talking about if the Yankees might ask Soto to take deferrals on his contract. Like defer some of the money, so they'll save the Yankees money to go after other guys. And they were kind of debated this, and I'm like, the Yankees usually don't do deferrals, as far as I know. They don't really do it that often because the thing with deferrals is once that comes up, it's usually paid with interest, so it's even more money that ultimately they have to pay because usually, like like Bobby Bonilla Day, if you remember that one. I mean, the Mets, they decided to defer his payments for like 20 years at a certain amount of interest, and now instead of it being
And
eight
I think the
million,
Mets
it's
are
like
doing it again with Edwin Diaz.
yeah,
So,
instead of being 8 million, it's like 30 million or 20 million they owe him. So it's like
yeah.
I don't like deferrals, but quite frankly, if that's what it takes to save money, and it's like okay, I mean, because the Yankees are at that almost at that second tier of luxury tax, so it costs them even more money to re-sign someone like Soto. So, but I guess the Yankees are shedding a bunch of money in payroll. I mean, it's Verdugo's gone. Glaber's making nearly 20 million. So they're not nearly 20 million. How much he made? 12 or something like that. But it's a lot
I
of
don't
money. Yeah, I would have to look into the numbers, and we could do that during the off-season preview or whatever. But yeah, I mean, they have to retain Soto. I mean, when they first traded for him, I'm like, yeah, they're not going to re-sign him. This is like a 1-year rental. Now, after everything he's done, he's becoming Yankees legend now. It's like they have to retain this guy. He's going to be the Yankees star when Judge retires because Judge is already 33. Let's remember that, so he's not going to be
know.
around
He's
much
gonna
longer.
next year. He's gonna be 33.
He's 32 right now, so he's turning 33. But he's still in his prime of his career. But he's going to start declining soon, and you're going to need another bat there. And Stanton's not getting any younger either, so like you need a guy that's going to be there after 5 years, and Soto's going to be your guy because the Yankee fans already fallen in love with him. So, like, you definitely need somebody there, a star. It could be Jason Dominguez, but at the same time, you don't want to bank on that because you don't know how he's going to perform throughout a full season. Even though
I
he's
mean,
played
I wouldn't worry
well,
about his offense. It's just his defense. I'd be more worried about.
his defense is trash. I mean, he didn't play well, which is why. Because the beginning of the playoffs, I thought of maybe putting Dominguez out there and left because of his bat, but it was like after seeing what I saw at the end of the year, it's like, oh no,
Yeah,
you cannot do that under
yeah,
any circumstances, unless Verdugo gets hurt. Then even then, I'd probably go with Trent Grisham, but
yeah.
because he's still around. So yeah, I mean, Yeah, he could be a pinch hitter off the bench. The Yankees haven't used him as a pinch hitter. He's been used as a pinch runner a couple times,
Yeah.
but not as a pinch hitter. So he still has that still has that bat. So he's gonna be excuse me, he's gonna be a part of the future, there's no doubt about it. So most likely it's gonna be Dominguez is left. Dominguez is in left. Judge in center and Soto in right. That's going to be your outfield next season.
Yeah.
Again, third base. Hopefully they get Bregman, but I'm not counting on it, especially if they pay Soto a bunch of money. So third base most likely might be Oswaldo Cabrera because cheaper and I mean the Yankees are going to want to save money.
Or maybe
Um,
if the Yankees are going to have TJ LeMahieu again next year.
Oh right, I forgot about him. He's been hurt all year, so I forgot he even existed. He has what 2 years left in that contract. Oh, so
Uh,
brutal that contract.
After this year, I think, yeah, I
Yeah, I
believe so.
think it's 2 years because
Yeah,
he signed for 7 years.
no,
It's
six. I think it was a 6 year contract. It started in
okay.
2021. So
Yeah,
if
but
after 2026 would be his final year.
yeah, so it's 2 years left in that contract. So, God, I mean, there's no way they can play him at third. I mean,
Well, no,
his foot.
he's good at third base. I
No,
mean,
I know, but his foot, is not
yeah,
in good shape.
yeah,
So he might. The only place they can realistically play him is at first base because you don't have to cover that much ground. So and he's okay at first, but I prefer. It's tough because he hasn't played well the last couple of years, and he's been hurt, so it's not his
yeah,
fault. But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, is he gonna last? You put him at third, even at first, is he gonna last? So you need someone like I hope that they bring in Bregman, but if they're gonna re-sign Soto, I mean, I don't see how Steinbrenner spending that much money after that. So they're probably gonna be go cheap and put Oswaldo Cabrera at third, and at first it either be LeMahieu or why am I forgetting? What's the
Oh,
young
they
guy's
also
name?
have Peraza. I think that's his name. Um,
Yeah, he's still around, so he could probably be stuck there. So yeah, so
got some options. So
yeah, so the catcher is going to be obviously Austin Wells, and the backup could be anybody. I mean, who knows? I mean, they could bring in somebody be the backup catcher. It's as long as he's defensively sound and a veteran, whatever. So, fine, I'll celebrate Juan Soto Day when I hit Social Security age. No, I agree. I mean, I'm not saying they shouldn't defer the contract if Soto's willing to do it. I'm just saying, if you defer, let's say he gets 600 million and you defer like 80 million of that contract with interest, it's going to cost them a lot of money. It'd probably be instead of 80 million, maybe 100 million.
oh,
But
and how about the New York Liberty finally winning their WNBA championship?
oh yeah, I mean, I honestly didn't notice their playoff run because I was so focused on the Yankees and
Yeah,
worrying about that. When the first time I heard they were in the finals was just a few days ago when Sabrina Nescu hit that big three. I'm like, oh, they're in the finals. I didn't even know.
yeah.
And that big three went viral on social media. It's like that step back three, and it's like she looks like Caitlin Clark a little bit with that step back three. So it's like, and it was basically at the logo. So it's like, oh,
That's
impressive.
Steve's favorite player right now.
Uh huh. Yeah, I mean the whole Caitlin Clark situation. It's like I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be. I mean, at this point, is she? I don't know whether she intends to come back for a second season because it seems like there's a lot of leagues offering her a lot of money. So it's like instead of making what 75,000, she can make millions. So it's like I'd be surprised if she doesn't come back. She probably will come back. I mean, come on. I mean, but still, I mean, but yeah, Liberty finally winning their championship. I mean, after
Despite
that,
some controversy with I
yeah,
don't
I
know
heard about
how
the officiating. People are complaining about the officiating, and I'm like, I didn't watch it, so I don't know. I don't know whether those were actually fouls or not. But yeah, I mean, How many people went to the parade? I didn't see. I saw the parade, but I didn't see how many people actually went because
Yeah,
WNBA champions usually don't get that many people showing up. So it's
yeah.
like they have their parades, but it's just a sad spectacle. Like nobody's there. It's like people walking by, going to work, and looking like, okay. It was
The Yankees get
sometimes.
hopefully the Yankees get their parade this year.
Yeah, I mean that they're going down the canyon of heroes with, with finally after 15 years with this new crew. But yeah, I've seen some WNBA champions don't even have a parade. They go to the arena and celebrate in the arena with their
I
fans. I
think
mean, it's just
the Aces had their parade last year, but like barely anyone showed up. So
yeah, again, that's the city of Vegas or the city spending a lot of money to put up these barricades and have police there, and nobody shows up. So it's kind of embarrassing. Some of the cities that they've won championships are like, yeah, we're not paying for this, so you're gonna have to go to your arena or something, to
it's
celebrate
kind
your
of funny
championship.
how New York sports teams they went on a drought for like I don't know, like something like 10 years without a championship, and then
Uh-huh.
last year it broke after what was it? The FC Gotham soccer team won their championship, whatever
Yeah,
team that was.
yeah,
And now the
uh-huh.
Liberty won their championship, and now the Yankees could win again. So
The Yankees need four more wins for their
yeah,
championship,
the
and the
Knicks could
Knicks.
could, could
Yeah,
possibly win. The Rangers,
yeah, the
so,
Knicks are in the best position to get to the finals, the first final since 1999.
although they got blown out. What was it?
Well,
Last couple days ago or
well,
whatever.
I'll say this about the Knicks: they traded for Carl Anthony Towns, they got Mikal Bridges. It's like a different team. So they lost some guys. So there's chemistry issues, obviously. So that has to be taken care of. And I suspect by the end of November they'll be fine,
Yeah,
because it's kind of like LeBron's Heat. Remember, they struggled the first few months of the season because they were just came together, the big three.
yeah,
So they'll be fine. But being blown out by the Celtics definitely sucks. But they'll get it together. They're not going to be, that bad forever. I mean, they're not going to play that bad every night.
yeah.
So, especially with, you have a lineup: Jalen Brunson and Mikal Bridges and Josh Hart and OG and Anobi and Karl Anthony Towns and Mitchell Robinson should be back by January, hopefully. So he'll be in the rotation. I mean, imagine a lineup with Robinson and Carl Anthony Towns together. I mean, it's going to be tough to drive in the lane with those two guys. But
Yeah.
so he said the Knicks winning it all could very well shut down the city. New York's been waiting for a Knicks title since the 1970 early 70s. So
Yeah.
it's been nearly over 50 years since the Knicks last won their championship.
Yeah.
So I think Phil Jackson was on that team. That's how long ago this was when he played for the Knicks.
Yeah.
Phil Jackson was on the team. This is how long ago we're talking about here. So, and Walt Clyde Frazier and Willis Reed. I mean, it like those were good teams. I wish I was be alive to watch those teams, but but yeah, if the Knicks win their title, the city will shut down. I mean, it's like that's the one that a lot of Knicks fans been waiting for in the city of New York. Um, the one thing I'll say it's that Brooklyn Nets. I mean, it's like the Nets are from New Jersey. I mean, how many people in New York actually care about the Nets? I mean,
Well, they were
he,
from New Jersey, but
I
they
know, but they're a New Jersey team, So that I mean, them moving to Brooklyn is kind of like, hey, what's up? We're the new guys in town. It's like the Mets, being the expansion Mets after the Giants and the Dodgers left New York. So it's like one of those things, but yeah, even the only time people care about the Nets is when they had Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, and of course they prima donna their way out of Brooklyn, both of them. I mean, it's like Kyrie left first, and then Durant left later, demanded a trade, and
Paul Pierce
James
was there
Harden
too.
left, and they're back to rebuilding mode again. The Brooklyn
Yeah.
Nets, even though they got a lot of assets in that Mikal Bridges trade to the Knicks, so their future is pretty bright, especially with they've traded Bridges and they got all those picks from the Knicks. I mean, the Knicks gave up nearly all their draft assets. I mean, they have a first round pick next year, I think, and then There's not much else there, but I'm not mad because they got a really good team there. I mean, OG the trade, Josh Hart was a trade, Carl Anthony Towns was a trade, um, yeah, Mikael Bridges. I mean, so that only thing I'm concerned about is their bench. I mean, they're kind of light on the bench. There's not much depth there, but I mean, we'll see what happens. But
Yeah.
after that, so I digress. The Yankees. We made our predictions and 5 game. I think the Yankees will win. My bold prediction: the Yankees will win 5 games. They won't need to go back to Los Angeles for game 6 and 7, but that's my best hope. I mean, they have to win at least one game in Los Angeles in order to make that possible, even though it's not really likely. And you predicted 6 or 7, which is most likely what's going to happen because this is not going to be an easy series for either team.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it's nearly 1 in the morning here in where I live, so I'm kind of sleepy. But yeah, we're just gonna wrap this up here because if not, I'm just gonna keep rambling all night long. So,
And I
uh,
just want to say,
yeah, go ahead.
it's kind of funny, or I don't know if I'd say funny, but when I first did the episode with you
Uh huh.
last year, we were talking about how the Yankees traded for Juan Soto,
Uh
and
huh.
now here we are discussing
Yeah.
what's happening in the World
Nearly a
Series.
year later, we're discussing how Soto basically hit us into the World Series.
Yeah.
Kristaps Porzingis was a good draft pick from Phil. Every other one was a head scratcher. Yeah. Frank Ntilikina. There were some really questionable picks there. Hell, when they drafted Porzingis, I was like, "Oh shit, who the fuck is this guy?" Some skinny, huge guy from Latvia. I was like, I mean, I didn't know what Porzingis would turn into, but yeah, I
Remember when
mean,
Derek Fisher was their coach?
oh, it was so brutal. It's like okay, I know Phil Jackson isn't coaching this team. He's like nearly 80, but really, Derek Fisher? I mean, he never coached. Has he even coached since? I don't think he's even coached after he got fired by the Knicks.
I don't think so.
And then he brought in Jeff Hornacek. I'm like, come on, man. I mean, he, now finally the Knicks have Tom Thibodeau, which is the coach that I wanted for years in the Knicks because he's a defensive minded coach and his defenses are some of the best in the NBA. And again, last year the Knicks were one of the best defenses in the NBA. And I'm kind of old school in my basketball. I want hard nosed defenses, and I want but today's NBA isn't like that. It's more of an offensive minded league, and
I
I'm
think the
like,
Rangers have their right coach too.
yeah,
Um, um, or Peter, whatever. I forgot.
Laviolette.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
yeah.
that's his name, Peter Laviolette. Yeah, I mean, he is a. I think he's the right choice too. It's like finally, like these teams have the correct coaches to lead them somewhere. I thought the Rangers would make the finals last year. I mean,
Yeah.
because I saw their playoff run. I'm like, oh my god, this reminds me of '94. Okay, let's do that. Like, unfortunately,
They
they
had a
got
great
eliminated.
playoff run 2 years before that as well, but same
Yeah,
result happened.
it just they just couldn't get past that hump and get into the Stanley Cup. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with the World Series. We'll be back after the World Series is over with our
Oh yeah,
reactions.
and then also just one more thing: are your
Yeah,
Giants ever going to be good again?
at this point, we'll talk and just real quick. At this point, I don't know because they keep going. They keep going to Daniel Jones. And I get it, he's your $40 million a year quarterback. You have nobody else behind him. Who's behind him? I mean, it's like
That
Jabroni
that
won.
guy, I think the Italian guy or whatever, who might be the New York hometown guy, who was playing
Uh,
and playing for Daniel Jones last year. I forgot his
yeah,
name.
DeVito, Tommy
He-
DeVito. And the Giants fans fell in love with him, and I'm like, but he's a scrub. It's like, I mean, he had some good games, but he's not going to be your full time starter. I mean, you fall in love with a guy that's probably not going to be here next year, and but like Daniel Jones is like, I'm so sick of him. That's a Gettleman pick, and Gettleman sucked as a GM. It's
Yeah,
like really they gave him that extension. I'm like, oh no. Look, and I get it. Who's available? The
yeah.
Giants made the playoffs. Who was available in free agency? Not many guys, but did you really have to give him 40 million a year? And now even and look, there's a clause in his contract. If he gets hurt, next year's 40 million is fully guaranteed. So I don't know why they gave him that clause. I mean, it's like because I think he's injury prone. So then, like his agent was like, "Yeah, we need that clause," and the Giants were stupid enough to give it to him. Even though, so even if they release him, they have to pay. If he gets hurt, even if they release him, they have $40 million of dead cap space there when they didn't need to do that. That's why I'm like, just sit him down, don't play him, then release
Yeah,
him after the season. So
yeah.
I'm like, they're what 2-4, 2-5. I mean, I
Two and
thought,
five, I believe.
yeah, and maybe get to a point where you have to tank. It's like just take him out and play some of your young guys and
Hmm.
hopefully get a quarterback because
Yeah,
the quarterbacks in this class, it's like they have to be better than Daniel Jones. I mean, you need a strong arm, especially with their number one receiver. Oh, am I forgetting his name? The rookie.
I haven't been watching, so
Oh,
unfortunately, I don't
uh,
know players.
okay. But hold on. It's I know his name. It's in the tip of my tongue. They drafted him this year. No, I mean last year. Malik Neighbors. That's who it is. Yeah.
Okay.
So he's their top receiver and he's their top deep threat. But here's the thing though. Daniel Jones can't go deep. So he usually throws like the 10 to 15 yard passes. I mean, in today's NFL that doesn't work. I mean, if you're going to do that running the West Coast offense, it's not going to work. Not in today's NFL. So you need to go downfield, and Daniel Jones can't go downfield, which is why a lot of even if you do sign some deep threats, it's like okay, and he can't go deep. But
Yeah,
I digress. So the Giants they need a new quarterback because their offensive line is better. I've seen their defense is fine, even though they need to pressure the quarterback a lot more. So it's like the Giants still in rebuilding mode at this point. I don't see how they're not making the playoffs this year. Not at 2-5.
yeah.
People, it's like somebody told me that the Giants could make the playoffs if they go on that 2008 run again. I'm like, man, that's not gonna happen.
I thought there was going to be hope after that win against the Seahawks a couple of weeks ago, but
Yeah, I mean that was a big win, because Seahawks are a good
now
team. But
it's
I
just
thought,
like it's not happening.
okay, okay, I thought, okay, we might go on a run here. Like, oh, and they immediately lose again in brutal fashion, actually against the Eagles. That was embarrassing. I mean, it was
Yeah,
last week. And it's like, oh no, they're not ready. Sorry, never mind. They're not ready. So they're 2-5, and if they lose another game or two, I'm like, oh yeah, just sit Daniel Jones. I mean,
yeah,
you were done. We're done with him. The experiment's over because I don't want him getting hurt and having that 40 million guaranteed. Because
yeah.
at that point, you might as well keep him on the roster. I mean, because cutting him, you're still gonna have dead cap space anyways. So unless unless it's a team dumb enough to take him in a trade, but I don't think there is. So who's desperate enough for a quarterback? So I don't think any team really be desperate enough to trade for Daniel Jones. But I digress. So yeah, we're gonna wrap this up now because I do have to go to sleep. So I want to thank everybody for watching really late, and we appreciate all the support. Make sure you like and subscribe, and gonna see you tomorrow night for Angel in the afternoon, a shortened episode because 8 o'clock the World Series game starts. So I'm
Thought you
not
said
gonna
it was on
be
Saturday.
no
Oh yeah,
Angel in the
that's right. Your area, yeah, tomorrow.
yeah,
Your
my show is tomorrow and Pro Wrestling Talk is Saturday, but my show is gonna be shorter because the game starts at 8. I'm not gonna go at 2 hours. But yeah, so tomorrow's Angel in the afternoon, 7. Saturday's for wrestling talk. We're gonna go an hour probably there too because I want to watch the game. And I'm gonna see you guys